Let it go.
We are at Shoreline Community College in Shoreline, Washington. Good afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon, time for some community college basketball. Today, the Olympic College Rangers from Bremerton taking on the Shoreline Community College Dolphins from here in North Seattle and Shoreline. Hello, everybody. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer with you this afternoon. Our second straight Saturday of bringing you Shoreline, actually third straight Saturday, bringing you Shoreline Community College basketball here. The 2 o'clock women's game getting underway here, just a little tardy as, well, Joel, as you being in the coaching profession, sometimes you just don't get there on time, especially when there's a ferry boat involved.
Yeah, exactly right. Olympic Rangers coming from the peninsula, obviously. They're rolling right in there, about 20 minutes left on the warm-up, and their coach said, hey, if we can get 10 more, we'll be good to go. So they got about 15 minutes to warm up, 15 minutes to change, and hey, they'll be ready to go.
Well, that's something to talk about. We'll talk about the game coming up here in just a moment. It's something we can talk about a little bit about coaching. In coaching school, they don't tell you all the stuff you have to know. Isn't that right? The X's and O's is easy. What time do you leave to get to whatever? That's the hard part.
Absolutely. And it's so much that so many people think about, what are you going to run for this? How are you going to defend this? And that's a huge part of the game. That's the part that you coach and that you love about the game, about coaching. The part that comes along with the fun part of it is what time do we leave? Where do we stop? What time should we eat? Should we eat? Should we wait till after? How are these going to respond?
Yeah. What time does the bus need to be here? Oh, guess what? The bus isn't here.
Right. Where is the bus? Who do we call to talk to about where the bus is? Are they in the office on a Saturday?
We're going to break away for the national anthem and come back with today's starting lineups right after this. And here we go back here, ready for the introduction of the starting lineups. First for the Olympic Rangers, their head coach, Dave Hawkins, his first year out of Concordia College in Portland. First year as head coach of the Olympic Rangers. They come in at 0-2 in league play, which just got underway here this last week, 5-9 overall. They'll start Napua Fontes, a 5'3 sophomore out of Kingston High School in Kingston, Washington. Tiffany Farrell from Central Kitsap High School. She's a 5'7 sophomore out of Silverdale. Out of Belfair, Washington, North Mason High School, Michaela Shoemaker, a 5'10 freshman. Diamond Carter out of Kapolea, Hawaii, Kapolea High School, averaging 8.8 points per ball game. A guard, a 5'9 freshman. And Hayden Craig of Naramata, British Columbia, Penticton High School, out in the Palouse, or in the Okanagan, actually. 6-foot sophomore. She'll be in the middle. So Napua Fontes, Tiffany Farrell, Michaela Shoemaker, Diamond Carter, and Hayden Craig for the Olympic Rangers. For the Shoreline Dolphins now to be introduced, also 0-2 in league play, 2-9 overall. Dornelia Russell in her third season, the head coach of the Shoreline Dolphins. They'll start Janaea Williams out of Renton High School, a 5'5" freshman. And Janae Jones-Lee, a 5'6" freshman from Franklin High School in Seattle. Out of Renton High School is Darian Dolquist-Larson, a 5'10" sophomore, the leading scorer for the Shoreline Dolphins. Danny Hayes out of Linwood High School. Remember those Linwood High School 3A state championship team, a 5'4" freshman. And Paris Sanders out of Cle Elum High School over in Eastern Washington, a 5'8" freshman. So Janaea Williams and Janae Jones-Lee, Darian Dolquist-Larson, Danny Hayes, and Paris Sanders. And Joel Boyer, as they say in a couple of favorites, something's got to give today, and that's got to be somebody's got to get a win. Both these teams coming in 0-2 in league play.
It's probably a great thing on the matchup looking at these schools for each of them saying, all right, this is maybe a school that we can obviously can compete against. Let's go see if we can run our stuff and have the handle their pressure, handle their system, handle what they're going to try to do to us, and see if we can improve on it. So obviously two coaches that Coach Dave Hawkins in his first season at Olympic, Coach Darnelia Russell in her third season here at Shoreline. It takes time to build a program. It takes that time to get your system in, to get the kind of players you really need, to get them to buy into that culture, what you're trying to do, and create that winning culture. So hopefully both of them can compete tonight and see who's going to get the win.
Well, and it really has become the fact in community college basketball, you have such a turnover of players that you have to find that consistency and kind of keep plugging in the right people into your system.
Absolutely, and that's difficult to find. Difficult to find in the kind of players, especially the ones that, maybe are going to, whether they're at community college for financial purposes or possibly academic purposes,
Sure.
trying to raise those up before they go on to the next level, or just ones that love the game and want to continue to play.
Lindsay Newman is the referee. She has the basketball in the air, and we are underway here at a 2 o'clock game. A little tardy because of the lateness of the bus coming from over on the peninsula, and underway here at about 2:15. And the first shot is going to be a miss, but Olympic's going to reload. The Olympic Rangers moving to our right in their black uniforms. That was a 2-shot up and a miss by Michaela Shoemaker, and Shoreline will get their first possession here. We're nearly 30 seconds into the first quarter. Quarter basketball in college women starting this year, 30-second shot clock. Shoreline in the white uniforms moving to our left in the home white with green numbers and gold trim. Moving at left side, Janaea Williams, top of the key. 10 to shoot, dribbles in, off, no good. Reloads, restarts the clock, and Danny Hayes will up fake and go in, and kicked out of bounds by one of the Olympic Rangers. And are they going to... The shot hit by Danny Hayes, so I don't think there's a question on the reset of the 30-second clock.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a couple seconds off there because they did get that offensive rebound right there from Janaea Williams and kick back out. So dropping it just down 5 more seconds down to 23.
23 to shoot on the inbounds for the Dolphins. Little up fake there by Dolquist-Larson, doesn't do it. Hayes dribbles into the paint. Back off for Williams. It won't go. And a defensive rebound taken down by the Olympics' Michaela Shoemaker. And a little full court pressure by Shoreline.
Some early run and jump right there by Danny Hayes and Janaea Williams, trying to see if they can't get the ball handler a little bit more uncomfortable, put that pressure on them. They probably something they've seen in the scattering porn as much as anything, that let's try to make that point guard play a little faster, maybe play without understanding what's maybe happening, and see if they can't force a turnover or force an errant pass.
There's a foul here on Shoreline's Darian Dolquist-Larson, her first personal foul, first team foul, and it's Olympic basketball. And on the inbounds, that was a 2 just inside the line. Tiffany Farrell, the 5'7" sophomore out of Central Kitsap High School, gets the first 2 points of the ball game for Olympic, leading at 2-0 here with 8:24 to play in the opening quarter. And a turnover by Shoreline gives it right back to the Rangers.
Looks like a 1-2-1-1 press right now by the Shoreline Dolphins. Trying to figure out if maybe this is one to take time, make the Olympic Rangers take some time, bring it up, or trying to trap them for a steal.
They didn't do either, and they came down for a fairly decent look by Hayden Craig. Missed it, got her own rebound, but then a turnover and a double dribble. Darian Dolquist-Larson got the steal, dribbled it once, then kind of picked it up to get her bearings heading up floor and double dribbled it. So it'll be turned right back over to Olympic.
Seeing a flurry of activity at both ends of the court, numerous offensive rebounds by both teams. Like the competitiveness, and making sure they're going to the rebounding end.
3 attempt, air ball no good, Diamond Carter. And up the floor, Danny Hayes for Shoreline. Offline, no good, miss there by Paris Sanders. And here comes Olympic down low. eluded the defender. Nice shot there by Craig. Missed, but a putback is up, and it is good. They gave it to Farrell. Farrell with the bucket off the rebound. A 4-0 lead now. Williams will hit the three. Janaea Williams out of Renton High School nails. Oh, they're going to give her two. They gave her two on the scoreboard. I didn't see the official.
All three referees actually acknowledged it was a 2, so she must have had her foot on the line. I think it was good from high school, but obviously high school and college have a different three-point line.
And then a bucket on the other end here by Olympic, and they lead it up 6-2. And the Shoreline having a hard time keeping control of the ball. There's a block shot by Hayden Craig. It goes out of bounds. And it'll be Shoreline basketball, 17 to shoot, down 6-2. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout called here by Darnelia Russell of Shoreline. I don't think she likes the way things are going here in this first 3 minutes of this ball game.
Right, and you can see that Shoreline's really working on their dribble drive offense, really trying to attack into the seams of the man-to-man defense from Olympic. Attack in there, draw the help defender to you, and then kick to the open person, let them attack then into the other seam, or maybe get an open jumper. But right now, Shoreline's just kind of making a few errant passes. They're good passes that are almost there, but not fully there. So definitely want to ensure that they're getting the right looks and doing the right things and passing to people, not just passing to areas where their person might be.
Bellevue, Peninsula, Skagit Valley, and Everett have all started 2-0 in league play, which started last Saturday. Olympic, Shoreline, Edmonds, and Whatcom are all 0-2 coming into play here today in women's community college basketball in the North Division. The NWAC, the North, East, West, and South Divisions, and they'll all get together in Everett here in about a month and a half for the state tournament, or the NWAC tournament. More than one state involved. Foul call. And we're going to have, I think, foul shots coming up here. We will for Shoreline. They're going to give Michaela Shoemaker the foul, her first personal foul, and the first team foul. And a couple of free throws coming up here. And the first one on the way, and it is no good by Paris Sanders out of Cle-Elum. She'll get another. She's only a 35%er at the free throw line. Next one is going to be no good. In fact, they're going to have a lane violation anyway, so didn't make it anyway. A lane violation will just give the ball right to Olympic. They lead at 6-2. Danny Hayes trying to do some actually, she gets the steal and knocks it away. Got it. Open three. Corner. Who's got it? It's going to be good. That is a three. We'll give it three that time for Darian Dolquist Larson. And it's a 6-5 lead. 1 point lead now for Olympic. And they're going to have an errant pass that'll go out of bounds and turn it right back over to Shoreline.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers, right? Back-to-back turnovers at there by Olympic Rangers. The pressure from Shoreline, the full court pressure from Shoreline is definitely starting to wear on them early in this first quarter.
Both teams now with 3 turnovers each, and here's Shoreline with a chance for the lead. That's Janaea Williams. As they'll work at top of the key, Engineer Jones-Lee puts it up off balance, and it's going to be an air ball and picked off there by Diamond Carter, then stolen right back by Danny Hayes. And she'll give it off to Williams, who shoots the 3 and misses, gets her own rebound back up, and that won't go. It's a hard shooting day so far for Janaea Williams. She's one of her first 5 shots. And we're going to have a
injury timeout.
Injury timeout there. Paris Sanders will go to the bench.
Looks like she might have gotten poked in the eye or something right there in that last exchange.
So that'll bring Zolvius Kalani into the lineup now. And here it's Olympic with it, leading at 6-5, 6:01 mark to play in the opening quarter. And a turnover again. That's 5 turnovers, by Olympic. And it'll go right back over to Shoreline. A chance again to take the lead.
Olympic was getting great looks early, Tom, but that was before Shoreline started putting the ball in the hoop and they were able to set up their full court pressure. So the more you can score as a Shoreline Dolphin, the more likely your pressure can get set up to maybe wreak some havoc on them in the full court.
Dolquist Larson. Oh, that's a travel. Yeah, a little indecision there by Engineer Jones-Lee will commit the travel. That's 4 turnovers now for Shoreline. When the turnover totals get close to what the point totals are so far, it hasn't been a good afternoon for either team.
Not quite yet. It'll get better, I hope.
We're in the first quarter, 5:38 to go in the first. Olympic with the lead and the basketball. In the black uniforms, trimmed in white and red. Moving to our right, that's Jewel Johnson just into the lineup. She feeds it down low. Hayden Craig with a miss. Scrap for the rebound. Who's got it? Now a tie-up on the floor. And the possession arrow will favor Shoreline. As Diamond Carter was down on the floor trying to get after that errant basketball, couldn't do it. Shoreline basketball, down by 1, 5:15 to go, first quarter. Dribbling in, Hayes. Thought she was going to take it the length, but she sees a wide open 3 ball in the side by Janaea Williams, and our first lead change of the game, and Shoreline with a 2-point lead. Still full court pressure by the Dolphins. But Olympic gets in the front court, and then Janaea Williams takes it and says, thank you very much. Danny Hayes goes in, blocked from behind there by Shoemaker. Turn it right back, and here we go, the other way. It's Olympic. Pull-up jumper on the way from the foul line. It's good. Up and in by Tiffany Farrell, and we're tied at 8.
That was a great block from behind that Shoemaker had on Hayes in that last exchange down at the defensive end. Difficult not to foul in that situation, but she did a great job of getting a clean block.
Danny Hayes, and then a reach-in foul. I think that time Farrell was going to reaching, thinking that the pass was going to go, and it didn't, and got her arm instead. That's her first personal foul on Farrell, second team foul.
And as Williams gets subbed out right here for Shoreline, you can see that Williams and Hayes have had great success so far this game already about attacking and dribble drive, getting into the lane, be able to kick and find open shooters. Shoreline's missed their first few open outside looks, but they've gotten a couple to go with Dolquist Larson dropping in one, as well as Janaea Williams from a pass from Danny Hayes. So if they are able to still get that same success, look for it to be a tougher night for Olympic.
Runner by Dolquist Larson won't go. Johnson grabs the rebound for Olympic to Jennifer Hicks. Hicks was going to pass it off. She thought better of it and then shoots and misses from 16 feet. And Olympic keeps it alive, and they grab the rebound. Down low it goes to Carter. Diamond Carter lost the handle on it, and it'll turn it right back over to to Shoreline. An 8-8 tie, 3:55 to go in the first quarter.
Both teams in man-to-man defense here. They've stayed it the whole time. Shoreline is putting that full court pressure off makes, and not both makes and misses. But look for them to pick up man-to-man right here in this situation after that turnover.
And they're going to call an offensive foul here. And Kalani picks it up. That's her first personal foul and the second team foul. Lindsey Newman, the referee, the umpire Ryan Taylor. Umpire 2 is Ron Vaughn, who just handed the basketball to Olympic, and it's Rangers basketball coming in 0-2 in league play, 5-9 overall. They work it right side. Johnson ran out of real estate, and then Kalani was there to push her out of bounds, and they're going to say, though, last touch by Kalani. 18 on the shot clock, inbounds baseline for Olympic.
It's a better job defending that inbounds play. The first time Olympic ran that exact inbounds play underneath the hoop, it went for I think it was a 2 in the corner, not a 3, but this time Shoreline did a much better job of communicating, getting it out on that shooter as they popped to the corner off the double.
Dahlquist Larson knocks it out of bounds, so it will be Olympic basketball at the baseline. Now 13 to shoot.
We'll look to see if Shoreline's going to switch this off the double pick. They do.
Dahlquist Larson knocks it out of bounds and then knocks it right back into the hands of Alexandra Wary, who's standing out of bounds, said, wait a minute. Does that count?
Never came back into play, so Wary's standing out of bounds and considered out of bounds.
So Dahlquist Larson had her hand on the ball on every inbound play there. There's Danny Hayes out of Linwood.
Making things happen, Tom. Making things happen, Hayes.
You know, and Hayes did that all the way through high school as well at Linwood High School.
Absolutely. And we talked last week on the broadcast about how when you have kind of those big name players get that big name accolades and the success and they get a lot of the press, but you got kind of those glue type players like Danny Hayes who just make things go and just able to really complement those great players. We're talking about the Jasmine and the Jordan Edwards, the Michaela Pivick at Linwood. But Danny Hayes, such an integral part to that championship success last year.
If she was 5'8" or 5'9", she'd be a D1 player, you'd think.
I wouldn't have much doubt about it. She plays great defense. She's really hustle. She communicates well. Such a team player, but her biggest asset is she's a great outside shooter.
Here's Olympic with it. Three on the way. That's an air ball. That's a 19-footer that goes about 18 feet and goes out of bounds. Shoreline with their biggest lead of the game, up by 3, 11-8. And a sub coming in. Paris Sanders, who took a finger in the eye a little earlier, will sub in. And Janae Jones-Lee will go to the bench next to Darnelia Russell and her staff on the Shoreline bench. 2:49 to play. First quarter, 11-8 score. The lead for Shoreline. They have the basketball. Oh, looked like a travel there. No call. Sanders. Now to Hayes. Left side. Dahlquist Larson. Three. No, won't go. And the rebound's going to be grabbed by Ebony Harpus for Olympic. And here come the Rangers. Down by 3. Jewel Johnson swings it right side for a 3 offline. No good. Alexandra Wary with the miss. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Shoreline. So Rangers will have it with 30 seconds to shoot. Looking to inbound it in front of the Shoreline bench. Alexandra Wary. She went up and was going to shoot and then wasn't going to shoot and saw somebody wide open. And Alexandra Wary out of Munford High School in Munford, Tennessee. How do you make your way from Munford, Tennessee to Bremerton, WA?
Well, as our statistician buddy would say, probably by plane.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some players from Hawaii for Olympic, from Munford, Tennessee, from Penticton in Naramata, British Columbia. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be Olympic basketball. Turnover by Shoreline. The Dolphins leading at 11-8.
Man-to-man full court pressure still applied right here by Shoreline.
And Shoreline pays off. And they're going to call it over and back. They say that Julia Rodriguez Ramirez controlled the ball in front court, carried it into back court, but I guess your momentum into back court doesn't count, huh?
Well,
seems like it would.
Being a coach, I think I'm going to side with Coach Russell on this one, that didn't feel that her player had full control of the basketball. If she does have control and crosses back over, clearly it's an over and back turnover. But in that case, referee didn't agree.
But Ebony Harpus, ball never lies.
Ball never lies.
And so they commit the turnover off the travel. And we've been stuck here at 11-8 for a while with 1:36 to play in the first quarter. Shoreline with a 3-point lead.
I'm interested to see right here, Shoreline's been in that dribble drive offense, but yet Zolvis Kalani is definitely a force down low, and she's been posting up strong, which they haven't gotten her the ball yet, but as a post coach, I'd say, what are you waiting for? Get her the ball when she's posting up strong.
That's a 2 right side up and in by Janaya Williams, and it's now a 5-point lead for the Shoreline Dolphins. She has 7 points of the 13 scored by Shoreline with 1:07 to play in the first quarter. Well, now one of the officials blew the whistle. He was going into the travel call, but there was 2 whistles, so he deferred then to the referee, Lindsay Newman, and then she kind of referred right back to him. Like, what do you got? I'm standing way out here by Wendy's down in Aurora. What do you got?
It looked like the referee, Lindsay Newman, she hadn't raised her hand on that, so whether she blew her whistle or not, I couldn't tell, but she hadn't put her hand up for a violation or a foul, so she said, whatever you have, Ryan.
Inside a minute to play in the first quarter. Shoreline with a 5-point lead. It's Danny Hayes.
On-ball screen. It's a dribble drive attack.
Oh, sticking the knee out there was Jennifer Hicks out of North Mason High School. First personal foul and the 4th team foul. You're talking about we got Belfair, Bremerton, Silverdale, Kingston, all the places, Port Townsend, all the places. You go to the cabin, right? You're stopping for groceries and gas.
Absolutely. Family cabin over there near Shelton. And these are all little towns. I'm like, I've driven through there. I've stopped for gas there. I've gotten groceries there. So, yeah, kind of taking me back to the summertime when we were able to hit the cabin and hang out for most of the time.
Have you gotten gas in Munford, Tennessee?
I have not, but my sister did live in Tennessee for 17 years, so I've been to Tennessee a number of times, but don't remember Munford.
Here's a steal of the dribble drive lay-in by Farrell. Up and in. Tiffany Farrell, the 5'7" sophomore out of Central Kitsap.
I should say, if I have been in Munford, it wasn't as memorable as it could have been, I guess. So.
I always like it's not Munford and Sons. No, it's Mumford and Sons.
Right.
Underneath. 7 seconds to go. A steal. Here comes Olympic, and they get one off, down to 4, down to 3, trying to grab the handle, give it to a ball handler, shot up no good by Tiffany Farrell, and we've reached the end of the first quarter with our score. The Shoreline Dolphins 13 and the Olympic Rangers 10. You're watching Shoreline Community College basketball on STSPN.com. We head back into the second quarter of action here at Shoreline Community College. The Shoreline Dolphins and the Olympic Rangers. Shoreline with a 13-10 lead starting the second quarter. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer, Buddy Patrick. Mark Ockett has stepped in as well. He'll be calling a few games down the line here on STSPN.com. So here we go. Olympic with the basketball, down by 3. Looking to get it down low. They do. Tiffany Farrell closed off there, so she goes up. There's an air ball, no good by Hayden Craig. And I'm going to say a foul on the ground off the rebound.
And one thing to remember here that I had to remind myself too is in women's college basketball now, the fouls reset every quarter. And we get back to on the 6th foul is double bonus. There is no such thing as a single bonus, the 1-and-1 that we're used to in high school basketball, and as well as pretty much most other levels except for the NBA. So now it's just 1 foul to 0 in this quarter as they get reset every quarter.
Basket good for the Olympic Rangers. It's now a 1-point lead, and here's a steal by Olympic. That's Farrell going in. She was fouled on the floor as well on the way in, so no shots here, but another foul whistled against the Shoreline Dolphins. I'm going to call it on Darian Dahlquist Larson. Picks up her 2nd personal foul and the 2nd team foul. Out of bounds for Olympic. 45 seconds, the ball is kicked out of bounds.
And Dahlquist Larson did her job right there. She's guarding the inbounder. Don't let anything go across the key right there. And if she hadn't kicked that ball, it would have been probably a wide open lane underneath on the block.
Now Olympic does get it in. That's Farrell. Across the top of the key, Napua Fontes was in the starting lineup, didn't play much, and then sat down out of Kingston. And look there by Farrell, may have taken one off the nose. And so Danny Hayes will check back in now for Shoreline. And Keitra Jones will head to the bench. So inbounds here for Olympic. Down by 1, 13-12, 1 minute into the second quarter. Good job by Dahlquist Larson. She kind of stood her ground, but then finally going around her was Michaela Shoemaker, the 5'10 freshman out of North Mason High School. Puts it up and in, and right back to a lead for Olympic at 14-13. Shoreline.
Olympic dropping into a 2-3 zone on this possession. Let's see if they're going to find some success with it.
Open 3 on the way. It will not go. That was a miss by Dahlquist Larson. Ball went out of bounds. And they're going to say last touch by Olympic. So with 29 on the shot clock, it'll be Shoreline basketball underneath their own hoop to our left. Shoreline in the white uniforms, green numbers, gold trim. Bad pass picked off by Farrell. So she picks off the inbounds pass, and then she tries to rifle a pass down low, and too many arms and heads and foreheads and everything else in the way, and the ball's going to trickle out of bounds. It'll be last touch, they say, by Shoreline, so Olympic will keep it with 21 on the shot clock. Jennifer Hicks will return to the lineup now for Olympic. out of North Mason High School in Belfair. And here's the inbounds. Fontes. And an overplay on the defense. Engineer Jones-Lee kind of pushing on the back of Michaela Shoemaker. She's going to be called for the foul. That's her first personal foul, third team foul. Out of bounds baseline now for Olympic.
Right now it feels like the Shoreline Dolphins have kind of in the first couple minutes and maybe the last couple minutes of the first quarter, first couple in the second quarter, they're starting to react to things that Olympic's doing instead of being proactively getting to spots defensively. It's kind of after they do something, they're making a reaction to it, which leads off into fouls or leads off into being out of position.
Now Shoemaker with the bucket. It's a 3-point lead for Olympic. They've led by as much as 4 in this ball game. Shoreline trying to penetrate the defense. Danny Hayes will. Then a bad pass goes out of bounds. I'm not sure who it was intended for, Janaea Williams or Engineer Jones-Lee, and I don't think they were sure who it was intended for either.
Not so sure on it. It looks like they're trying to keep their man-to-man pressure there, but they're not getting to the right spot at the right time.
Right there, Jennifer Hicks thought that it was tapped out of bounds by a Shoreline player. It was not. So Shoreline will get it off the turnover for Olympic.
Well, and Coach Dave Hawkins for Olympics might be thinking, well, if you're not going to give me the ball, you might as well call the foul on the block right there by Janaea Williams, but neither one.
11 turnovers here in this first half whistled against Olympic. Janaea Williams, it rattles off, no good. Will not go. Foul's going to be called as Paris Sanders was kind of surrounded by Olympic Rangers, and a foul will be whistled here. The foul is going to be called on Diamond Carter, her first personal foul, first team foul. And so a timeout called by Olympic. Got 7 minutes and 35 seconds to go here in the first half. A 16-13 lead for Olympic. Olympic comes in. They lost to Bellevue on Wednesday night, 86-49. And last week when they opened up North Division play, they lost to Skagit Valley at home, 69-50. So that's a Shoreline, or that is for the Olympic Rangers coming in.
Yeah, and to start this second quarter, the Olympic Rangers are on a 6-0 run right now. They were down 13-10 to start the quarter. Now they're up 16-13. So hopefully Shoreline can get something here. And that's when Olympic went to that 2-3 zone. So while Shoreline's been getting some open looks outside, they haven't been really able to convert any since the start of the second quarter.
See what they can convert here at the foul line as Paris Sanders will go to the free throw line.
And one thing about a 2-3 zone, or any zone for that matter, obviously you're not guarding a man, you're guarding the region and the people within that, obviously, which makes it much more difficult to rebound out of. So you can see the last couple of times Shoreline down here on the offensive end, they've missed their initial shot, but they've been able to get the offensive rebound and been fouled twice now on those. This one resulting in free throws for Paris Sanders.
Sanders hit the first one, hit the second one. Diamond Carter picked up the foul, her second personal, second team foul. Full court pressure here. Olympic will bring it into front court. Working the ball. 20 to shoot. On top, Fontes, go ahead.
No, Shoreline in that 1-2-2 press back to a man-to-man, and they're able to get another steal right there by Janaea Williams in the half court.
And then she...
Looks like she might have rolled her ankle on that breakaway lay-in.
Yeah, she landed awkwardly and kind of got the lay-in and then turned quickly.
You always want to hope for these ones that it's an ankle and not a knee, and as she starts to kind of walk off that pain, and it looks like that probably is the case, if she's kind of ginger on that ankle. Hopefully they're able to go over there and tape it up and tie her shoe a little tighter and see if we can't get her back out on the court.
She does have a brace on that right knee, but I think it was an ankle.
Yeah, it looks to be. Hopefully.
She kind of landed awkwardly. What she did, though, was give a 1-point lead back to Shoreline at 17-16. Now Olympic will work it down low. There's a miss, no good by Hayden Craig. Gets her own rebound, moves her body out of the way, and it'll go right back to a lead by Olympic. And it's 4 lead changes in the ball game. And Olympic leads 18-17. 6:44 to go in the first half. And that's a travel there by Engineer Jones-Lee a couple times. she's come down, kind of tried to set her feet behind the three-point line, and that shuffled it off.
Yep.
And it'll give it the turnover.
It's important to make sure that you're getting your feet set, going left, right, left while the ball is in the air, not after you've already caught it. Although Reggie Miller got away with that and made it to the Hall of Fame and is all-time in the NBA three-pointer, second on the all-time list behind our own Supersonics Ray Allen, our former Supersonics, I should regretfully say.
Hayden Craig with the bucket. It's a three-point lead, 20-17, 6:17 to play in the first half. Shoreline with the basketball, down by 3. Up fake by Dahlquist Larson. They keep working around for somebody to be open, and then down low, triple team there. 10 to shoot. Danny Hayes will. It won't go. Kept alive by Olympic, and they're going to say knocked into back court and then touched by Olympic, so no over and back here. Hayes will bring it into front court again.
Great athleticism by Dahlquist Larson right there. She wasn't going to be able to get the rebound, but she had to go in there and make sure nobody else could tip it up and let Danny Hayes, her backcourt mate, go get it.
Paris Sanders tries to go up with it, and the ball is knocked right back to her by Hayden Craig. Tie up on the floor. Possession arrow favors Shoreline. It'll be Shoreline basketball in their front court with 13 to shoot. No reset here. So 13 seconds to shoot, 5:43 to go in the first half, and a 20-17 lead for Olympic. Not expecting the pass there, and a turnover by Shoreline. Engineer Jones lead. But Olympic returns the favor and will go back the other way. Darnelia Russell gets up and has a couple of sharp words with a few of her players. I think she told him to wake up. There's a pass that may be coming in.
And Coach Russell is not very pleased with the fact that her players, while controlling the tempo with their press and really controlling their offensive end, they're not able to convert right now, and that's the most frustrating thing as a coach. Like, you're mostly executing well, but not perfectly, and you really want that perfection in the execution.
Bounce pass, Dahlquist Larson will go. It's a 2-ball left corner from about 14 feet away, and it's a 20-19 lead for Olympic. Coming up in 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Danny Hayes sprinting all over the court in that full court press. This is something that she's used to doing, that she likes to do, that she did all 4 years at Linwood High School. They love to be that up-court, up-tempo team, so Hayes is real comfortable in this full court press.
And Hayes is we're going to have a timeout called here by Shoreline, I do believe. Let's talk about playing with a player like Hayes. You have to be alert at all times because you're just as likely to get hit in the side of the head by a pass, right? Because she's not looking at you when she's passing. She's a player, and now this is a weird to compare. Magic Johnson was like that. He was looking 2 passes ahead.
Sure.
This pass is already registered.
Absolutely.
And you may be hitting the side of the head because you're not watching for it.
You better be running with your hands up at all times. And Danny Hayes,
your head on a swivel, as
Danny
they say.
Hayes, well, maybe she's not the 6'8" Magic Johnson and those other types of things,
right.
but she absolutely is a great player and had a great career at Linwood High School, and she's really taken her talents here to Shoreline, doing a lot of good things with it. So, and just even from last week to this, you can just see there's a lot more comfortability from what Shoreline's trying to do. Darnelia Russell's really worked them hard this last week, obviously, and they're able to get some good matchups with it.
She goes in, maybe a little out of control there, but following up, and then suddenly hey, if Danny goes in and misses, I can go in and maybe pick up a rebound, and it's back to a lead for Shoreline. Our 5th lead change of the ball game, 21-20, Dolphins with the lead, Rangers with the basketball. Nice move there, but a miss by Farrell. The putback is going to be no good by Shoemaker, and a foul is going to be called. Farrell looked like she was leaning to her right, and then she said, no, I'm going left. And everybody else says, oh, there she goes. Watch out.
Well, and Danny Hayes, unfortunately, the one thing she doesn't have is that height. So when she's stuck on Shoemaker, who's listed at 5'10", and Hayes listed at 5'4", which might even be a little kind to that, she's just got to make sure no shot gets up and in. So committed a pretty hard foul to make sure there wasn't a made bucket underneath.
Hayes with the first personal foul and the 4th team foul. Shoemaker makes the first free throw, misses the second, so ties us up at 21-21 with 4:27 to play in the first half. We're at Shoreline High School Shoreline Community College Gymnasium. First of 2 here on STSPN. Men will follow at 4 o'clock. Shot left side, it won't go by Sanders, and a whistle off the rebound. And they're deciding whether we're going to where we're going to inbound the ball, or we're going to have some foul shots coming up here.
Well, I think they got Julia Rodriguez-Ramirez for Shoreline over the back on that there.
Hayes.
Oh, Hayes. Okay.
That's her second personal foul, 5th team foul. So Danny Hayes picks up the foul.
And I think Hayes is trying to talk to
I wasn't sure she was very close.
Our umpire there saying, are you sure it was me? And what did I do?
Yeah. Shoreline also lost their first 2 league games. They lost to Skagit Valley on Wednesday, 74-46. Lost to Bellevue last Saturday game we had right here, 76-33. Miss on the free throw. No, excuse me, a make on the free throw. And it's back to a lead for the Olympic Rangers at 22-21. Made one of the 2 foul shots. Paris Sanders with it. 14 to shoot. That's Danny Hayes. Now left side, Dahlquist Larson. Yeah, they're going to say that sticking the knee out there was Michaela Shoemaker out of North Mason High School in Belfair. Her second personal foul and the 3rd team foul.
For Coach Dave Hawkins for Olympic Rangers, wasn't too pleased with that, obviously. 8 seconds in the shot clock, and you still have Shoreline dribbling out by the 3-point line. You really don't want to foul any time, but especially in that situation, you kind of have them working into a situation where they're going to have to put the ball up regardless whether they want to or not.
Rodriguez Ramirez now to Hayes, backing in amongst the tall timber, so she thinks better of it, and going in against 4-on-1, and they're going to foul is going to be called. And Janae Jones-Lee will go to the stripe. And who are they going to get? There were 4 around her, and it's going to be Farrell.
Oh, they're going to say they got her on the floor. They got her before she was shooting there.
Tiffany Farrell, her second personal foul, 4th team foul. Inbounds, shot no good. Dahlquist Larson gets her own rebound, misses that as well. She's done a lot of things, but shooting well has not been one of them here this afternoon at Shoreline, but kept things alive. She is 2 for 8 from the field. Jewel Johnson for Olympic. Now down to the baseline and passes it right to, well, there she is again. That is Dahlquist Larson to Hayes. Sanders, no. Air ball, kept alive. Sanders gets it back. Cross-court pass. Back out to the top of the key they go. Rodriguez Ramirez to Lee. Back out to between the circles to Dahlquist Larson.
Shoreline back in the dribble drive offense against this man-to-man pressure.
12 to shoot. Going in, little hip-hop move through the lane. Rattles off, won't go by Jones-Lee. Put back won't go. And another rebound here. And Shoreline will keep it alive with a fresh 30 to shoot. Dahlquist Larson shoots a 3, won't go. Kept alive again. Another offensive rebound for Shoreline. They'll reload the offense. To the baseline, laying up, won't go by Rodriguez Ramirez. And finally, Olympic will get it. How many do they have? 6 shots?
I think they had 4 offensive rebounds in that possession right there, but unfortunately couldn't get any of the 5 shots to go.
Will this one go? No, that'll be an air ball right wing by Tiffany Farrell. A miss. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Shoreline basketball. 2:11 to play in the first half. A 22-21 lead for Olympic.
And good to see Janaea Williams check back in for the Shoreline Dolphins after that apparent ankle injury. She got some work over there by the trainer. Looked like they taped it up, maybe got a little tighter. But she's back in the game now, so we'll see how that ankle might affect her a little bit or not.
So Shoreline basketball down by 1, coming up on 2 minutes to play in the first half.
And Tom, that's one thing we really want to stress. I mean, these teams are both 0-2 in league play, and not on the winning end of records right there at the moment, but you can't fault any competition. And these girls are just working so hard at getting better and improving week to week, and it's fun to see them both competing at such an intense level. All right, whether the execution is beautiful or not, they're working hard to get those wins.
2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. It's shot on the way. It's going to be an air ball. Danny Hayes had to just force it up as they used up the entire shot clock and came away with not a good look. With 1:38 to play in the first half, a 22-21 lead for Olympic. Could be more here on this possession.
Shoreline dropping back. No full court pressure that time.
Shot left side, won't go. Own rebound by Diamond Carter. Back out for an open 3. That will not go by Hicks. And then a pushing foul from behind as Zolvis Kalani grabbed the rebound. And they're going to
put her to the free throw line, it looks like.
First personal foul on Ebony Harpus, and that's the 5th team foul. 2 shots coming up here for Volves Kalani.
And for the last minute 20 here of the half, obviously we are in the bonus, which is the double bonus because both teams have 5 fouls. Again, going to 4 quarters this year for women's college basketball, and that's 5 fouls, and you hit the double bonus. So there is no single bonus now in women's college basketball.
First one won't go. Second one will go.
Kalani was in early, and they waved off that basket right there.
Okay. They waved off that one, but the first one did go.
Yes.
So we are tied at 22. They waved off the second one, and then a bad pass and an errant pass, and Diamond Carter can't control that one. It goes out of bounds. 16 turnovers on Olympic and 14 turnovers in the first half on the Shoreline Dolphins. 1:15 to play in the first half.
I said they're competing hard. I didn't say it was always pretty, but it's very much great competitive nature from all these women out here.
That's Williams. Now Hayes. Kalani has it. Back out. Dahlquist Larson. 13 to shoot. Inside a minute to play in the half. Williams in the corner. 8 to shoot now. Kalani put the ball on the deck, and then down she goes. Back out for Hayes. She has to shoot at the horn again. That's 2 trips down the floor, and they've used all 30 seconds of the shot clock, and Danny Hayes just has to cast off with not a good look there. Here's Olympic with the basketball. A 22-22 tie, 41 seconds to play in the first half. On top, Jewel Johnson. 3 will go for Jewel Johnson out of Port Townsend High School. 25-22, the lead for Olympic, up by 3. They've led by 4. Shoreline's led by 5. Dahlquist Larson, it will not go. And the rebound controlled by Olympic's Diamond Carter. Oh, then a travel by Jewel Johnson. Good, and that's just right there. That is good defense by Shoreline.
That's a great job by the Shoreline defenders, who all of a sudden went from getting no points on the last possession to all of a sudden having to turn around, play some quick defense, and get the ball back, holding for 1 shot now with 13 seconds left in the half.
Down to 10 now. Dribbling in, that is Williams. Down to 6, down to 5, and a jump ball is going to be called, and the possession arrow goes to Olympic. So the 25-22 lead, Olympic will have the basketball. Final shot of the half. Down to 3 seconds. 2, 1. Shot on the way. No. Travel the basketball before she got rid of it. They're going to say that will bring us to the halftime horn. Entertaining, but again, we saw it last week. We're seeing it again. This is a low-scoring game for a community college women's game. Both teams in the 20s. It
is. And as we talked about at the start of league play, how all the teams in the NWAC North are either 2-0 or 0-2. So it kind of feels like there's a little bit the haves and maybe the have-nots. So, right now for these players, for these programs, looks like they're definitely kind of in those rebuilding stages with a first-year coach and a third-year coach. So you kind of expect some of that. They're not going to be running things efficiently yet, but hopefully week by week they're going to get better so they can get to the NWAC tournament in about a month here and be ready to go.
We are at halftime. We'll take a break, come back and take a look at the numbers and have the second half of action coming up here. 25-22 Olympic leading Shoreline. You're watching Shoreline Community Basketball right here on STS. Ready? We are back here at Shoreline Community College. Shoreline Dolphins, Olympic Rangers, with the Olympic leading it 25-22 women's basketball in the community college. Let's take a look at the stats from the first half. Joel, what do you got?
Well, the shooting percentages, first for the Olympic Rangers, shot 11 for 25 for 44%. The Shoreline Dolphins, due to their offensive rebounding and steals, they got many more shots, so they got another 8 shots more, but they only shot 8 for 33 for the half. But they did go to the free throw line and go 4 for 5 from the free throw line, which gives us that 25-22 Olympic Rangers lead.
What were the turnovers?
18 turnovers for the Rangers and 15 for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins' full court pressure definitely keyed into the Rangers and them not being able to get across half court many times and having a lot of turnovers. But hopefully for the Dolphins, they can start to execute and get a few more buckets out of those turnovers they're creating.
The first miss is by Dahlquist Larson for Shoreline. They have it to start the second half. She gets it in the corner. Just underway, second half, a 25-22 lead for Olympic Trojans. Going in with the right hand, Dahlquist Larson. Almost looked like she was going to pass it off and thought, you know what? There's an open street, an open avenue here. I'm just going to take it. And here's a steal. Dahlquist Larson again. Bounces it down, laying up, good by Janaea Williams. And suddenly, what was a 3-point deficit is back to a Shoreline lead, our 6th lead change of this ball game. They lead at 26-25, and first time that Olympics had it in front court. That was a steal, but they're going to call a foul.
And I'm afraid that might be Danny Hayes' 3rd foul, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Which is not good for Coach Jernelia Russell because they just we're 52 seconds into the 3rd quarter. And she is an integral part of this game. I'm not sure she's come out for more than 30 seconds, Tom.
No, she hasn't, and not being substituted in yet. So going to leave her out there with 3 personal fouls. 1:05 into the 3rd quarter. Top of the key was Shoemaker. Kicks it to Diamond Carter. She'll shoot from the foul line. Offline, won't go. But grabbing that rebound, kind of took it away from Paris Sanders, and Hayden Craig lays it up and in. And Olympic back to the lead here. Up by 1 at 27-26. Very tightly contested ball game. 7 lead changes, 3 ties in the game. Neither team's led by as much as 5, but another turnover by Shoreline. But dribbling down, nice defense there by Danny Hayes, and Napua Fontes can't control it. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Shoreline basketball.
That's a great job by Hayes to run her down right there and to create that turnover, run in front of her. But I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Russell saying get the heck out, just get out in front of her, stop her, but don't you dare touch her. That could possibly lead to your 4th foul as a starting point guard.
Here's Dahlquist Larson, lays it up and in. Again, found a little seam and got it. Here's a double team in the corner, trapping off of Hayes and out of bounds as Tiffany Farrell got trapped there.
That's a great job by Farrell, something that we teach our girls at Snohomish High School as well, saying if you get caught in a trap, well, we never want to be there. If you do, you throw it off their nearest leg and just get it to go out of bounds and get that ball back for us for possession.
Hayden Craig goes up, misses, and fouled. Fouled there by Paris Sanders. Sanders, the forward, a 5'8 freshman out of Cle High School, picks up her first personal foul, the 2nd team foul. First free throw won't go for Hayden Craig. Hayden Craig from Narromata, British Columbia, Penticton High School. Averages 15 points per ball game out in the Okanagan of British Columbia. 1-point lead for Shoreline, 28-27. That's going to be a 2 inside the line. It will not go by Jones Lee. Back out, reload, refire, no good by Dahlquist Larson. And Danny Hayes says, give me my turn here. And a blocking foul is going to be called on the floor. So Jones Lee had a shot at it. Dahlquist Larson had a shot at it. And then Danny Hayes wanted her turn, but it gets fouled. That's the first personal foul whistled on Hayden Craig, first team foul of the second half against the Olympic Rangers out of Bremerton. 0-2 in league play is Bremerton, so is Shoreline. So somebody's got to pick up their first league win here today between these two teams. 20 to shoot. Dahlquist Larson. Williams will shoot, and it will rim out. No good. Tough luck shot. Rebound grabbed by Michaela Shoemaker. And a jump ball called. Held ball. The possession arrow favors Olympic.
Shoemaker right there went and grabbed that rebound, but she never got that ball up to her chin, Tom. You got to make sure as soon as you get that rebound, Get it to your chin and get a wide base of your knees bent. Too many times it feels like in women's college basketball, actually I should say in high school basketball, you don't see it as much in college, it seems like, but the ball doesn't get right to their chin, so there's not as much strength, and they don't have that wide base to maintain a strong position with the basketball, so you can't get tied up with it.
Good ball movement there. Hayden Craig, the ball never hit the floor, and Hayden Craig lays it up and in. It's back to an Olympic lead at 29-28. 8 lead changes and the foul whistled. It's going to be a Tiffany Farrell out of Central Kitsap High School, her 3rd personal foul. 2nd team foul of the quarter against Olympic Shoreline basketball. Shoreline in their home white uniforms, green numbers, gold trim, moving to our right. Down by 1, 29-28 to the Olympic Rangers. Hayes in the corner. Now gives it off to Williams and has the ball knocked away, and then she runs into Napua Fontes. Fontes got the steal, and Williams kind of just gave her the shoulder. And they're going to whistle this one on Williams. 2nd personal foul and the 3rd team foul. Olympic with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Swing a pass, nice pass for the laying up and good by Hayden Craig. Napua Fontes just threw that kind of a sidearm wraparound for the lay-in.
Well, and Fontes only had 1 assist in that first half and no points, but she's 3rd in the NWAC in assists with averaging almost 6 a game. So look for her to see if she can't create a few more things for her team in the second half.
Fighting her way through for Hayes. Now dribbles past a couple of defenders but missed it. And Hayden Craig grabs the rebound for Olympic. Oh, and that's 4. That's going to be 4 on Danny Hayes. Her 4th personal foul. Now she has to come out.
And that was one of those. That was absolutely a frustration foul, Tom. That was I got in there, I got the look I wanted, and I just missed my lay-in right there. And out of frustration, she wanted to go track down the ball and see if she can get it back, but definitely committed the foul while doing so. And now we see Shoreline dropping into a 2-3 half-court zone with Hayes going out.
And we'll move it left-hand side. Olympic with it, leading by 3. Shot won't go. That was a 3 attempt by Fontes and a miss. And the Dahlquist Larson, and a blocking foul is going to be called. Blocking foul called, a 3-point lead for Olympic. And it's going to be whistled here. It's going to be on Fontes, her 1st personal foul, and the 3rd team foul. Shoreline with the basketball. To the top of the key it goes. Shot off, won't go. And Olympic brings it down. Shot on the way, will not go. That was a miss there by Diamond Carter. And we did have Fatuma Abu, who checked into the ball game. She came in and took the place of Danny Hayes. And she's wearing number 3 for Shoreline.
Well, we talked about it last week, Tom. You have these community colleges that you never quite know who's signed off the street, who's pulled off the waiver wire, but who's playing for you this week necessarily. But Fatuma Abu, here we go.
Turnover, right back to Shoreline. But there's no reset on the shot clock. Thought maybe there should have. But here's Abu, shoots, misses. That'll put a fresh 30 on, but it'll be for Olympic. 4:41 to play the 3rd quarter. A 31-28 lead for the Rangers. They have the basketball. Jewel Johnson. Back out to the top, Shania Anderson. Now to Wary. To Johnson again. Back out, Jewel Johnson. She'll shoot the 3. It won't go. Ball went out of bounds. And last touch by Jewel Johnson out of Port Townsend High School. So it'll be inbounded by Shoreline. Down 31-28 to Olympic. Coming up on the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. Dahlquist Larson picked up the basketball. Then she's going to be called for the offensive charging foul. Picked it up. I'm not sure where she was going to go. A little early to start into the approach pattern to the hoop. and that is going to knock over an Olympic player. It's going to be the third personal foul called on Dahlquist Larson. On the 5th team foul.
And that spells some trouble for the Dolphins possibly, because Dahlquist Larson is that other point guard in the court. Obviously, Danny Hayes, with those 4 fouls for Shoreline, is the starting point guard and handles the ball most of the time, with Dahlquist Larson playing that off guard, that 2 guard that she's able to score a little bit more out of. But now with Hayes on the bench, those 4 fouls, Dahlquist Larson is called on to be the point guard right now. Not quite as efficient for the Dolphins, but then also she just picked up her 3rd foul. So Coach Russell kind of looking at some little bit of a pickle with her 2 starting guards with 4 fouls and 3 fouls.
Jewel Johnson, they give her space and she misses. That was a 2 from about 16 feet away. Would not go. And Janae Williams brings it out of backcourt to Dahlquist Larson, the corner. Abu not afraid to shoot, misses this one as well. 0 for her first 2. 1 from each corner. And a tie-up. Possession arrow goes to Shoreline. The Olympic College men will play in the 4 o'clock game, and they're going to make their way to the locker room here as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter of the women's game. Top of the key, Williams. 22 to shoot. Goes all the way down, puts it up with her right hand, won't go. Gets her own rebound. Back out it goes to Dahlquist Larson. To Williams again. She puts up another runner. This one goes deep in the well and comes back out. And a whistle and an out-of-bounds baseline. Foul called on Shoreline. And it's going to be Paris Sanders picks up the foul. The 5A freshman, her 2nd personal foul. And the 5th team foul. Measuring, shooting, and hitting is Jennifer Hicks. She eyed it. No one came out on her. She loaded, nobody came out on her, and she shot it, and it went through. 34-28. That's the biggest lead of the game for any team. That's 6 points at 34-28. 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Runner, this time, this runner will go by Janaea Williams. She's been trying it all afternoon long. Finally, one of them went in. It's a 4-point lead for Olympic. And now the Rangers with it, but a little runner, that one won't go for Hicks for Olympic. And a foul's called, whistled here. Looks like it's going to be on Michaela Shoemaker, her 3rd personal foul, 4th team foul.
And we've seen that Shoreline be able to get a lot of their points and a lot of their turnovers from their full court press, but it is really hard to be able to get that full court press set when you're not scoring the basket. So it's kind of that catch-22 of you really want to, you can get things out of your full court press, but without scoring, it's hard to get more points out of it. So Shoreline's been really kind of living on that tonight. So today, I should say, this afternoon, without those easy buckets coming from their press, I understand why they're down 4 right now.
Dribbling in, Abu puts it up. Her 3rd time's a charm. She tried 2. This one a little closer range and makes it a 2-point lead for Olympic. And then dribbling out of backcourt is Jewel Johnson for the Rangers.
That full court pressure by Shoreline after that made bucket was able to kind of disrupt things for Olympic until they got down to the block now.
Shoemaker at the low block, it won't go. Sanders grabs the rebound for Shoreline. A chance to tie here. A 3 gives them the lead again. They were down by 6 here just a moment ago. Fatuma Abu in the corner. On top it goes to to Zolvius Kalani. Shot on the way. That one won't go. It's a miss by Chantel McMillan. McMillan misses, and the rebound controlled by Olympic. 1:46 to go, 3rd quarter.
And for Coach Russell for Shoreline, she's got a number of subs out there on the court right now, but things are working out in their favor as they've cut into that 6-point deficit down to 2.
McMillan threw it, almost got the steal, knocked it out of bounds, disrupting the offense for Olympic. So the Rangers will have 17 to shoot. 1:37 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Shoreline dropping back into their 2-3 zone right now. Look to see if they can prevent a shot, get a steal, or make sure there's only 1 shot or no shots. Looking for that no offensive rebound.
Jewel Johnson, top to Fontes over the corner. 3 won't go. It's a miss by Wary. Back up. That won't go either by Johnson. And it goes out of bounds. Shoreline basketball. 1:19 to play the 3rd quarter. And a 2-point lead for Olympic.
With Dahlquist Larson on the bench with 3 fouls and Hayes on the bench with 4 fouls for the Dolphins. you're seeing some other younger players, freshmen out here, having to compete and get it done, and yet they're able to get it done right now with only take that 6-point down to a 2-point deficit. So see if they can continue that.
Abu with a miss, and then a power move to the rack. Engine Jones lead ties the score at 34. And then the ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be controlled right back by Shoreline. And Dave Hawkins wants to call a timeout here. Interesting timeout. 52 seconds to play here in the third quarter, a 34-34 tie. And Dave Hawkins says even though there's less than a minute to play, we got to stem the tide a little bit here, right? Disrupt their momentum.
Right. Well, it's that thing we just said. It was a 6-point lead, the largest for any team or any team out here today, and yet at the same time, it's a 6-0 run by Shoreline to get right back to a tied basketball game, and that's all done with Janae Williams on the bench, with Darian Dolquist-Larson on the bench, and Danny Hayes on the bench. So the 3 starting guards for Shoreline all on the bench, and yet the Dolphins are able to crack into that lead. So props to that bench for Shoreline saying, hey, it's all right. We're going to get us back in the game. We're going to keep us in the game and see if we can't even take a lead on this possession right here with 52 seconds left in the third quarter.
So here we go. Shoreline will have it. With 52 seconds to go, 30 to shoot. Down low it goes. Abu has a block right back to her. Top of the key, McMillan goes in, and then this time it's going to be stolen away by Johnson. And they're going to play tough defense in backcourt. Finally, into front court comes Olympic, and they lost the ball out of bounds. Apua Fontes, I think, kind of celebrated the fact she got into front court and then lost the handle and really couldn't chase it down, and it goes out of bounds. So with 35 seconds to go, 30 on the shot clock.
Looks like a 1-3-1 half-court zone right here. I'm not sure if they're trapping the corners or not, or trapping up top, but a 1-3-1 zone for the Olympic Rangers.
I tell you, Fatuma Abu, since she came in, she's been shooting.
It's not afraid to shoot.
No.
Not afraid to shoot.
And she will get some free throws coming up here. The foul called on Michaela Shoemaker, her 4th personal foul, 5th team foul.
So we're really turning into some free throw, not just free throw, but some foul trouble for both sides here, with Shoemaker getting her 4th foul as well. So a couple starters for each team with 4 fouls, a couple big time players for on each team with some fouls. So we'll see how this kind of all plays out in the fourth quarter, with most likely having to have some backups and some bench players in the game often. And we have the third lane violation by the shooter in the game, 1 by Olympic and 2 by Shoreline.
And is now Shoreline lead at 35-34 off the free throw make by Abu. 21 seconds to go in the quarter. Shot clock is dead. Overplay on the defense, and a foul is going to be called. I think it's going to be 3rd man in, isn't it? Yes, it is. In hockey, that's third person in. Chantel McMillan. It would have been no fouls between the two, but then the 3rd one comes in, and that's where the foul goes.
Yep.
And the first personal foul on McMillan. We're in the double bonus.
16 seconds left in this quarter with these 2 free throws coming right now for Olympic.
Chance to tie here, no. So the only thing that Olympic can do is tie with 16 seconds to go in the third. Hayden Craig at the free throw line. This one will go. Tied for the 5th time in the afternoon. It's 35-35, 12 seconds to go. Up the floor, Shoreline. Rodriguez Ramirez down the corner. That's a 3. Won't go for Abu. Not afraid to shoot. She tries to get on the rebound, down to 3 seconds, down to 2 seconds. Not sure everybody knows that. Here they're going to not get a shot off, and we will go to the fourth quarter in a brand new ball game. It's the end of the third quarter. Are the Olympic Rangers 35, the Shoreline Dolphins 35. You're watching Shoreline Community College basketball on STSPN. So 10 minutes to go here. We go to the fourth quarter. Brand new ball game, 35-35. And I was just going to ask you, Coach Boyer, if you're going to bring Danny Hayes back off and Dahlquist Larson playing with foul trouble, and you will, right?
You have to. You have to. And it looks like Shoreline wasn't quite sure what they were starting in because they were all in their 2-3 zone. But as Coach might have said, look like you're in a 2-3, but get man-to-man, which they have done so now.
Ball goes out of bounds.
And it created turnover right there. So, well, they might have had a little confusion for themselves. It created some more confusion for Olympic.
We got ourselves a ball game here as Shoreline brings it up, a 35-35 tie. Just underway, fourth quarter. Tom Lafferty with Joel Boyer. Glad you're with us here on a Saturday afternoon on STSPN. Dahlquist Larson playing with 3 personals. She'll shoot a foul line jumper and put it in.
That's a money play for her right there. A couple dribbles coming off the wing to the elbow. Nice rhythm dribbles, catch and pick up and shoot. Beautiful job right there by Dahlquist Larson.
Up the floor. Here comes Olympic now. Spin move. Hayden Craig or the miss. Back up. It won't go. 2 shots at it by Craig. And then a travel off the rebound. And a turnover gives it back to Shoreline. 25 turnovers for the Olympic Trojans. With 25 turnovers, you should be down by about 20 points, if you just aren't.
Well, I'm not so, yeah, that's true.
Not many points off turnovers, we can tell you that.
No, or maybe it's even, right? There's been a lot of turnovers both ways.
That's true.
But in any event, it's 37-35, 2-point ball game, Shoreline with the lead, and it's exciting basketball. Anytime you got a close game, even if it's a freshman game, a JV game, a varsity game, a college game, anytime it's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter, it's exciting.
Dasha Carter with the foul, her first personal foul, first team foul. I always say, when we go into the fourth quarter and I don't know who's going to win, that's a good ball game to me.
That's a great ball game.
Now, tomorrow with the Seahawks, I'd like to know who's going to win going into the fourth quarter. Uh-oh. Dahlquist Larson is down. Play continues, and now they're going to stop play because Dahlquist Larson is down holding her knee at the baseline. And Danny Hayes will run down. The training staff over working on one of the men to taping some ankles, and he's going to go out onto the floor as well.
And that's never a good sign for any player, any athlete, any sport. But anytime you have a knee you're grabbing at, it's obviously a concern. And I obviously hope that the training staff right here can discern that maybe it's just a twist, maybe it's just some pain, but nothing more, hopefully.
They're going to sit her up.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, does this hurt? Does that hurt? Can you extend it? Can you bend it around? Well, I think you're okay.
And there's a lot of times with athletes who have been injured before or haven't been injured before. But when you go down, there's, I think, that initial fear when you feel that pain, you feel that twist maybe of worst case scenario enters your mind instantly. And great things seeing Dahlquist Larson get up and walk off under her own power and look to stretch it and kind of loosen things up. Hopefully we can see her come back in the game, as she's had a great impact on this game, as she is the only sophomore on the Shoreline Dolphins roster.
So Olympic basketball down by 2. They feed it down to Craig as she'll lay it up and in and tie the score at 37-37 with 8:25 to go in regulation time.
Great hands by Craig right there. Had a couple people draped on her arms, able to get that catch and finish. Real impressive footwork and soft hands.
Rodriguez Ramirez feed it in the corner, left-hand side. That's a 2-ball inside the line for Enjanae Jones-Lee out of Franklin High School. And a tie-up on the floor, and the possession arrow will favor the Olympic Trojans. I knew I was going to do that. Olympic Rangers. Olympic Trojans is Olympic High School, also over or down in the Olympia area.
I won't tell you it's your second time doing that.
Did I do it?
I wasn't going to correct you.
Well, we were doing Bellevue Wolverines too, right? Last week. And you had one of those.
I did, absolutely.
Shoreline basketball, they're deciding whether or not the arrow had been switched at the quarter break. And apparently they're thinking it had. So they're going to switch it now. So the next one will go to Olympic. So that tie-up will go to Shoreline, and they have it. Up by 2, 39-37. Dribbling in Rodriguez Ramirez. Jones-Lee. Goes to the baseline, slapped right back at her. Hayden Craig gets that one, and then also knocks her to the ground. And also, they have the basketball. Olympic with a chance to tie. Hayden Craig, will she do it? She will. She'll tie the score. She did the last time for the 6th tie. She does this time for the 7th tie. It's 39-39.
And Hayden Craig's making a big mark in this game right here in the first 2.5 minutes of the 4th quarter with a great catch and finish 2 possessions ago. Then a great stop right there, a block and an a defensive rebound on the last defensive possession. Then a bucket, then another defensive rebound. She's had a hand in every play so far for Olympic in this half, or this quarter, excuse me.
Rodriguez Ramirez on the miss on the step through, and Hayden Craig has it. She's the leading scorer, Craig is, at 15 points per ball game for the Olympic Rangers.
And you got to think you got to go back to her if you're Coach Dave Hawkins.
Here's a turnaround jumper, no good by Tiffany Farrell. And just saying, no thank you very much. Paris Sanders will grab the rebound. Tied at 39, 6:50 to play in regulation time. And Dolquist Larson has been healed on the far bench, and she's going to return to the lineup here. Next dead ball. Rodriguez Ramirez. Sanders hits. Paris Sanders out of Cle High School. Averages 4.6 points per ball game. Puts it up and in. And it's back to a Shoreline lead at 41-39. And a throwaway. And a turnover by the Olympic Rangers.
And Tim,
Thanks.
Tom, I can't stress how much this pressure from Shoreline is affecting Olympics' ability to get the ball across half court. I mean, too many times it's been player after player for the Olympic Rangers been just throwing the ball away carelessly and not really valuing the possession of the basketball.
Here's Danny Hayes. Dolquist Larson back in, as we mentioned. Down low, won't go. And then, I'm not sure if she stepped on somebody's foot, but Zolviz Kalani kind of limped out of there a little bit. Giving no quarter to any other player. Kind of ran into the back of Diamond Carter there a second ago, too. Second personal foul whistled on Olympics of Benny Harpus. First free throw, woefully bad.
Kalani did a great job in that play, setting a screen on the offside, let the ball swing, and then came kind of around the horn almost and got that ball before she was fouled. And did an excellent job moving her feet to try to get to the ball side.
Kalani hits the second free throw, and it's a 3-point lead for Shoreline. Kalani out of Rainier Beach. Full court pressure.
Danny Hayes, a part of this full court pressure, has got to be careful not to pick up that 5th foul.
They go down low, lay-in no good. They're going to call for the shoulder foul. Lowering her shoulder was Epony Harpez. Nice job. You know, they did the Academy Awards this week. The nominations, I think, right there, Zolviz Kalani is going to be up for at least a Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that call the other way myself, but it's not the first time I've seen something different than a referee. It's in the last 24 hours either, actually.
Harpez, third personal, third team foul. 3-point lead for Shoreline, looking for their first league win of the year. Dolquist Larson hits.
And that's a big bucket right there to give them a 5-point lead, Tom. Big bucket by Dolquist Larson coming back in the game.
And their biggest lead of the game, Shoreline has led by 6. Olympic has led by as much as 4, and a turnover. And we're going to have a timeout called here by Dave Hawkins of the Olympic Rangers. And I think he sees this game kind of slipping through his fingers. You know, what was working earlier was going to Hayden Craig down low, but Shoreline has kind of changed their defense enough to kind of deny that going into the big girl downstairs.
Well, and they actually had to check her out of the game there for a couple minutes. I'm not sure if maybe her lungs aren't quite where it's at. I know there's sickness going around the high schools for much. I'm sure it's not leaving alone the community colleges as well. So who knows if she's healthy or not or needing some time out, but has not checked back in yet. I would like to see and say, hey, let's get back to what was working there for us. It got us that lead. So we'll see if she checks in here sometime in the next 5:33 to get back in this game. But you've got to talk about, Dave Hawkins has got to talk to his team about control the basketball. Maintain possession. Don't be in such a rush to go throw the ball all over the court and throw it away because, well, Shoreline's man-to-man full court pressure, and they've been trapping on the ball, whatnot. It is definitely pressure, but it's not so much that I'd say that they can't find open people. They have open people. They're just airmailing the ball over top of them by 4 or 5 feet at times. So let's hit people in their noses if I'm Coach Hawkins saying throw it to people, not near people.
So here we go. Shoreline with the basketball and a 5-point lead, 5.5 minutes to play right now in regulation time. That's Danny Hayes out of Linwood. She'll bounce a pass. Dolquist Larson can't handle it. picked up by Olympics. That's Michaela Shoemaker. Feeds a pass down, nearly carried out of bounds, but saved there, and then falling out of bounds with it. You know, I thought Janaea Williams was going to think she was out of bounds, and she wasn't. And so it will be Olympic basketball. So
I'm not so sure if I was coach, I want to use that use a timeout right there to ensure possession, but ball goes back to Olympic.
Of course, that's where college is different now. You cannot, the coach can't call a timeout.
Absolutely.
And then they got it down inside to Ebony Harpez. And that's a battle to watch. Watch Harpez and down low along with Zolvez Kalani. They're kind of like
strong and competitive. Strong and competitive is what we'll call that.
And Harpez is just not giving an inch, and then trying to stick her nose in there is Janaea Williams.
And there's Hayden Craig that we talked about. Let's see her getting back in this game, see if she can't make an instant impact on it as she did a couple minutes ago.
Harpez will go to the bench, though. It's Olympic basketball, 44-39 lead for Shoreline, 4:58 to play. Napua Fontes looking down low. Still working the perimeter, 15 to shoot. Left side, Shoemaker. Whistle and a foul, and that's going to be the fourth personal on Dahlquist Larson. Darian Dahlquist Larson out of Renton High School. Her fourth personal foul, and the first team foul of this fourth quarter. 4:47 to play. Inbounds, who's got it? Well, it's going to be Shoreline. A steal by Janaea Williams. Here comes Danny Hayes trying to push the tempo. They work the perimeter. Dahlquist Larson has 4 personal fouls. Danny Hayes has 4 personal fouls. She works the rock out between the circles. Now to Dahlquist Larson.
Shoreline being smart here, using some clock, getting the shot they want.
3 won't go. That's going to be a miss by Janaea Williams. I'm not sure that was the shot they wanted. 4:16 to play. Fouled in backcourt on Janaea Williams.
And that is definitely not what Coach Dernelia Russell wanted out of Janaea Williams right there.
Third personal foul, second team foul. 4:15. Who's going to be the first to foul out of this thing?
And who's the first team to reach those 5 fouls and get into that double bonus that we talked about?
Elevating for a 3 that will not go by Tiffany Farrell. And then a push-off foul is going to be called here. Hayden Craig got the rebound. And we got 2 shots coming up here. And they're going to whistle it on Janaea Williams. They're going to whistle it on Rodriguez Ramirez, her first personal foul, and the third team foul. Free throw here for Diamond Carter. First one will not go. Carter, 68% at the free throw line, averages 8.8 points per ball game.
And Rodriguez Ramirez has not played a whole lot this season for the Dolphins, and yet she's logged a lot of minutes tonight and a lot of very impressive minutes, I'd say, with the foul trouble of the other starting guards, and done a great job for them.
44-40 the score. The lead for Shoreline. 3:55 to play. They have the basketball. Janaea Williams. 2 shots coming up here for Williams. And they're going to whistle this one on Hayden Craig. Craig, the 6-foot sophomore out of Penticton High School in Naramata, British Columbia, her second personal foul, 4th team foul.
And that right there for Janaea Williams is almost one of those, felt a little contact, chuck it up at the rim and see if I can't get a foul called, which she did get it. So, Olympic, don't bail people out. Make her make a tough shot right there. I'm not so sure Williams could have put that ball down if she wanted to, but hey, she's shooting free throws for it.
First one is a miss. Next one upcoming. Kalani will go out. And Paris Sanders checks back in for Shoreline. Williams will put it up and hit it. 45-40, a 5-point lead. Shoreline has led by 6 in this ball game. Olympic has led by 4, and that has been it. As they work it down to Hayden Craig with the laying up and good. Work it down, that worked perfection in this first part of this second half. She's got 18 points, says Hayden Craig, averages 15 points per ball game.
And great assist right there by Fontes. Get that ball, nice bounce pass on the baseline.
That's a 3, won't go, but for Janaea Williams, early in the shot clock, Williams shoots that one, 3:19 to play, full court pressure. Remember, Hayes has got 4 personal fouls. So does Darian Dahlquist. Larson, and it's going to be a miss on a 2 attempt and a foul. I think Janae Williams may be the guilty party here. No. No, they just switched from 4 to 3. It's going to be Darian Dahlquist Larson. That's your 5th. 5th personal foul. 4th team foul, and Darian Dahlquist Larson has fouled out of this ball game.
And that is a huge, huge loss for the Dolphins as their leading scorer, for the season, one of their leading rebounders, just the one who all in all makes things happen for them. Obviously, they're playing the last 3 minutes without her. Let's see if the Dolphins can make this happen.
The laying up and good by Michaela Shoemaker as Dahlquist Larson fouls out with 13 points on the ball game. It's a 1-point lead now for Shoreline. 2:50 to play. We're in the 4th quarter. Hayes also playing with 4 personals. Feed it left side to Jones-Lee. Back on top again to Rodriguez Ramirez going in. Too hard, no good. Hayden Craig grabs the rebound. Outlet passes it to Napua Fontes. And here comes Olympic, a chance for the lead. Pull-up jumper from 12 won't go. That's a miss by Shoemaker and controlled by Danny Hayes. 1-on-2 is Hayes. She'll take it anyway all the way down and lay it up and in.
What a great decision by Hayes, realizing she's by herself, but neither Olympic player stepped to the ball to stop it, so she split 2 defenders for a 1-on-2 fast break lay-in.
The lead is 3, and here's a turnover. A steal by Shoreline, a turnover by Olympic. That's 30 turnovers for Olympic. Feed it inside, and a foul is going to be called. Hayden Craig's going to be this one. It kind of became a sandwich there for Paris Sanders. Sanders goes to the line, and it will be Craig. Hayden Craig will pick up her 3rd personal foul, 5th team foul.
And Sanders only a 35% free throw shooter on the year, but she hit 2 for 3 and 2 for 4 in this game so far. Missed that one. This is that time right now as they are shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way. Every foul that's committed by the Rangers with the 3-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Coming down to a free throw shooting contest, Tom.
Yep, first free throw no good. The lead is 3 for Shoreline. Next one will go. 48-44, 2-possession game. 2 minutes to play. Here comes Olympic, and it's a bad pass. Hayden Craig couldn't go get it, and it was swung out of bounds to the far corner, and it'll be Shoreline basketball. Now you got to use time.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And this isn't the time right now for Olympic to foul. It's the time for them to just play great, solid defense and create an empty possession for Shoreline. But Shoreline also wants to take as much time as possible before they get a shot up here.
15 to shoot. Williams back out unless you have a wide open look. They did. It didn't go. Paris Sanders, but grab the rebound. That'll help. That'll help tremendously with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Minute 26 to go in a 4-point game.
Remember, this possession started with about a minute 45 on the clock, so they've already run well over 30 seconds off this clock, 40 seconds off this clock, and that one possession with that extra half a possession with an offensive rebound.
A timeout called by Shoreline. Minute 16 to play in the game. 48-44, the Dolphins with the lead. Dolphins looking for their first win of the conference campaign, which started a week ago. When do you start to go into the foul mode if you're Olympic?
Well, right now they have 13 seconds left for Shoreline on the shot clock. Minute 16 left. You're only down 4. There's not a panic mode. This is a do not foul mode right now. Make sure that you create an empty possession. If there's a shot, secure the rebound. Don't have a whole lot of time to fart around with the basketball, but definitely get down the court, see if you can't create. Now you're only down 48-46. Depending on how long that takes, let's see if now we need to start fouling. But
now, if there was 30 on the shot clock, different story?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely different story. With only 13 on the shot clock, absolutely do not foul. 30 on the shot clock, minute 16 left. You want to start to try to make this into a longer game. The more time you can spend with the clock stopped, the better off you're going to be.
Make a difference where the ball is going inbound. It's going to be on the side court here for Shoreline in their front court.
Absolutely, absolutely. If that's under the basket, there's a lot more things you have to do as Olympic. But with the ball coming up top, Danny Hayes is the trigger man throwing it in right now. Olympic looks like they're not in a man-to-man. I'm guessing possibly a 1-3-1. Looks like a 1-3-1 trapping sort of half-court half-court zone.
8 to shoot. Williams back out, down to 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Will they put one up? They do. Foul called, bailed out there. Wow. They took the clock all the way down to 0. There was not one chance on earth that Jones-Lee was going to hit that, but she gets a chance at the strike.
That is an extremely undisciplined play. Diamond Carter she's been playing hard all day trying to make things happen, but that's one that you say, go ahead and make that difficult shot or even draw a rim on that very difficult shot. As Janae Jones-Lee puts in that first free throw, now it's a 5-point game. So that was everything Olympic didn't want to happen. They got it down to got a poor shot, but fouled her on it.
So a 5-point lead now with the first free throw. The second one is on the way and it is good. Hit them both. That's a 6-point lead. Shoreline equals their biggest lead of the game. Olympic now in backcourt. Still full court pressure, trapping. 55 seconds to go. 2-possession ball game. Need 2 threes, and here's a turnover. 32 turnovers in this ball game for Olympic. Shoreline is looking like they're going to get the win here. But I'm guessing Coach Darnelia Russell is not going to count her chickens before they're hatched.
Well, she's got a team full of all freshmen, save one sophomore, Darian Dolquist-Larson. But unfortunately, she can't call in her starting 2-guard because she's already fallen out of this game. So when you got 6-point lead, going to the free throw line for 2 shots for Julia Rodriguez-Ramirez for the Dolphins, you do feel comfortable, but I'm a lot more comfortable as a commentator up here than I would be as a coach on that sideline. So, comfort is kind of depends on where you're sitting.
So 42.5 seconds to play in regulation time. 50-44 the lead for Shoreline. And who do you like for a player of the game?
That is a great question. That is a great question.
Dolquist-Larson fouled out with 13 points.
There's that part of me as a coach that says I want you on the floor, and her 5th foul and her 4th foul are both kind of, difficult ones to have.
14 for Janaea
Williams with 14 points in the game.
I would probably have to say Janaea Williams, assuming the Dolphins pull this out here.
Danny Hayes is the straw that stirs the drink.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of her stats, I don't even know what those stats are, and it doesn't matter to me as much as she's the one that's the triggering everything, pushing the tempo, pushing the offense. When she was on the bench with those fouls and had to sub her out, it was definitely a different story for the Dolphins. When she's in the game, there's a lot more confidence and comfortability for them. So, but Janaea Williams, I'd say, with those early offense she had in that first quarter to get them that early lead and kind of pace them along the way, coming back from that ankle roll, done a great job for them.
The first free throw is good. That makes it a 7-point lead, biggest lead of the game for Shoreline.
And Tom, I'm a little confused. I'm not the coach. I've only seen him play one game, but a little confused with Hayden Craig coming out of the ball game right now when they're on an offensive possession here. So obviously Olympic's going to try to push the pace, push the tempo down 8 right now with only 37 to play.
Here's a shot on the way, won't go. Rebound controlled by Shoreline, and a foul called. We're going to we'll send Mark Ockett, who will be on the air here on STSPN coming up in a couple of weeks here on Shoreline Basketball. He's going to get our player of the game, Janaea Williams. Well, hopefully he's going to wait till the game's over. Our friend Buddy Patrick did that in a high school game once and went down and asked the coach while the game was still going on.
30 seconds.
Well, everybody has their moments, so that's just one of the greats.
9-point lead, 26 seconds to go. Olympic will shoot. That'll be a miss there by Wary. Shot clock is dead. The putback is up and good. 17 seconds to go. Fouled in backcourt. Danny Hayes played a whole lot of time here in the second half with 4 personal fouls.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she played came out for only about a minute total in the first half and then had to sit some time with those 4 fouls, but has played the entire fourth quarter with 4 fouls and done a fantastic job, especially when she lost, her backcourt running mate and Dolquist-Larson fouling out. Hayes has just gotten even stronger and better. So this is definitely a player that it was always fun to watch her play in high school, but now seeing her be the be the starting point guard, where she was more the off guard in high school, but now called on to be the starting point guard. Just impressive player.
Here's Danny Hayes at the line. On the way, won't go. 17.2 seconds to go in regulation time. A 7-point lead for Shoreline, 53-46.
I'm pretty sure Hayes never missed a free throw against us in high school, but
and we'll hit the second one, 54-46. Long down court pass. 10 seconds to go.
No
in the corner won't go. A miss by Farrell, and Hayes grabs the rebound, and she can just dribble it out here with 2 seconds to go. Still grabbing for a, not sure what that was necessary for Diamond Carter.
Well, she fouled out.
Except now that she's fouled out, she can rest this last 1 second to go, and Danny Hayes will go to the free throw line. No, check, it's 4th personal foul. And 1 second to go, and it's going to be the first league win for Shoreline. And we will talk with Janae Williams from the Quint Cities SeaTac and Renton High School. First one is good by Hayes, 55-46 the score. And the final shot here will go 56-46. Biggest lead of the game for Shoreline, and time will expire. And the Shoreline Dolphins will pick up the win 56-46. And Shoreline will move to 1-2 in league play and 3-9 overall. Olympic drops to 0-3 in league play, and they are now 5-10 overall. So for the Olympic Rangers, it was turnovers, and then add in about 10 more turnovers, and that was really their downfall.
yeah, the full court press for Shoreline. Great job for Dornelia Russell to realize that was a weak point for the Rangers, and to put that full court press on, mixing it up between man-to-man, full court, a 1-2-1-1, a 2-2-1, kind of mixing up those different presses where they're taking time, but they just wreaked a lot of havoc on the Olympic Rangers. Never could get comfortable. So every time Shoreline was able to score the basketball, they were in that zone or in that press, and it really benefited them greatly today.
And we're going to get our player of the game coming up here.
Making the rolled ankle come up the stairs right now.
Okay, here we go. Here comes our player of the game, Janae Williams, for tonight's win, 56-46. You look nervous. Hold it up nice and close. Oh, I can hear you now. But you weren't nervous out there, were you? Yeah. Sure. So you're coming off a knee injury. How's the knee doing now? Because you kind of rolled your ankle a little bit too, didn't you? Yeah.
My knee, I'm doing good. I'm doing physical therapy, so I'm getting it taken care of. It's doing better, I would say, with the physical therapy. I do it every game day, so it definitely helps me.
Sure, you bet.
Well, in that first quarter there, it really seemed like you guys came out firing, and you were kind of the recipient of getting a lot of shots, but a couple of them didn't go for you, but you just kept shooting kind of through that little bit of a, not a slump at all, but just kind of shooting through those woes. Talk about how you guys' full court pressure kind of was able to trigger some easy buckets for you.
We practiced our full court pressure for a good 30 minutes yesterday. Because we want to come out, stop them, make them, really work for the point. So we did our lineup. It was Danny Hayes in the front, me on one side, Darren. It really depended.
Sure.
And us three, we just had to move. And we ended up getting a lot of turnovers, getting points. We got a whole bunch of points off of the turnovers.
Absolutely. I think you guys ended up with causing, I think it was 32 turnovers by our count. So that's pretty impressive what you guys were able to force the Olympic Rangers into today. That's impressive. It was awesome.
Talk about your the sisterhood of you guards out there with Danny Hayes, because she was kind of a late addition, right? Danny was.
So the way it worked was when Danny came in, I was like, I was excited. and an attacker. So I then was like, oh, back on myself again. But Danny said, she's definitely, me, Danny, and Darian, we have a good bond because we know how to work the floor together as the wings and as the guards. We know how to pass the ball, make it work for each other. So we're building stronger and stronger day by day. And I think it really showed today, coming from our strategy games and our build system, that we learned in those first two games how to really build together, work together, and all that.
Well, I thought that was obvious. We did your guys' game last week too, and just seeing the improvement from last week to this week, and as much as anything, it seemed like a comfortability between you guards, so that dribble drive kind of attack offense and finding each other, and so much of that is playing together, and you could really see that improvement from last week to this week. So congratulations to you guys, and hopefully to see you guys improve as the season goes on too.
And I plan to too.
That sounds good.
But you boys have a good watching this game.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Spending the time with me.
You bet. Thank you.
And stay healthy.
There you go. That's Janaea Williams, our player of the game today, and she comes up. She was excited to be here and excited to play a good ball game and excited for the first league win.
Gosh, we need to get her on the air more often.
I know.
She brings a lot of excitement up here.
So there it is. Final score: Shoreline Dolphins 56, the Olympic Rangers 46. Coming up next here on STSPN in about 15 minutes or so, it'll be the men's game. And it will be the Olympic Rangers and the Shoreline Dolphins. For Joel Boyer, I'm Tom Lafferty. Thanks for being with us. Shoreline Community College women's basketball today. The Shoreline Dolphins 56, the Olympic Rangers 46. Good afternoon, everybody.